All right. Good morning. Oh boy. All right. A couple of crazy things going on in the world around us. There's a heat wave on the east coast of the United States. There's brink of war. But enough doom and gloom. Come find rest, weary traveler. Here on the Connections Puzzle. My live streams, we do Connections, mini crossword, the Wordle, the Strands, and the Letterboxd. No real new news. My daughter that was doing driver's ed is now finished with the driver's ed class. She has to do more driving hours, more experience. I don't think I told you yesterday, but we ended up taking the car, the minivan. I drive a minivan to the mechanic to get looked at. It's clicking when you turn left or turn right, both. So usually it's only one side, but it might be both. So I might be out a few hundred, maybe a couple thousand for for new CV joints. I don't know. We'll see. But we are without our main van that can hold my entire family. So it's a good minivan. It's been good to us for a long, long time. But it's reaching that point in its life where it's like, all right, is the cost needed to put in to fix it greater than the value of the van itself? Maybe not, maybe it is. So depending on what they come back with, we'll see. That's just crazy. All right, well, you know what, enough of that. Let's play the puzzles. All right, so in Connections today, good Wednesday puzzle, June 25th. Good morning, John Marco. Good morning, Callie. Let's see what we can come up with here. I see cran, like cranberry, cran apple. Cup, rasp. Okay, I think I see one already. Blue's over there too. Rave, straw. Okay, and if that's a red herring, I swear. Goat, hero, blue, blueberry, right? Plain, lid, jack, saw, flaming, napkin, chisel, and Swiss. Okay, well, let's try it, and if we're wrong, we're wrong. Cran, straw, rasp, and blue for the different berries, and it's a red herring. Thanks, Wina. You're the best. Yeah, I fell for it. Of course I fell for it. It's staring me right in the face. It's staring me right in the face. Okay, so if rasp is not a berry, I see rasp, saw, plain, and chisel. There we go. Chisel. Okay, woodworking hand tools. And I'm surprised that's the blue category there. I know all of those tools. I've used all of those tools. I've had experience, a little bit, tiny bit of experience with wood. I used to have a lathe. I regret getting rid of that because now my son is interested in woodworking. My dad got him like a mini lathe, which is so awesome, so fun. But we had like a real actual Craftsman lathe. We gave it away on the online classifieds. This was years ago. This was like 15 years ago. And I'm looking back like, why would you do that? Okay, so I see jack cheese, Swiss cheese, goat cheese, and blue cheese. But isn't it usually BLEU, like the French way? Okay, kinds of cheeses. There we go. Yeah, you're right. If it's too obvious, John Marco said if it's too obvious, go find other ones first. Yeah, I know. I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. Lid, straw, cup, maybe napkin. These are like disposable things at a fast food place or something. Beverage, self-serve items. Yeah. Cup, lid, straw, napkin. Okay. And then Oh, this is clever. Okay, I just understood. I just understood what this was. This is birds minus a letter. Okay, flaming is flamingo. Cran, like cranberry, becomes crane, right? The bird, the crane. Rave becomes raven if you have add an N. And then hero becomes heron if you add an N. That's clever. Very clever. Birds minus a letter. There it is. You can't not do it for the satisfaction. You just have to know. You just have to. You can't not know, right? So I got the blue category first, which is less straightforward, but I don't know. That's the one that spoke to me. After, of course, the red herring that I obviously fell into. Woodworking hand tools. We got a chisel, a plane, a rasp, and a saw. Kinds of cheeses, right? You got blue cheese. I was thinking blue cheese was the French way to spell blue. B-L-E-U. Maybe I'm wrong. I will have to go to the store and look at a package of blue cheese. How do they spell it? We were just talking yesterday about some favorite cheeses, and one that came up was feta. Do you guys like feta? Like Mediterranean, Greek salad, Greek gyro kind of thing? Put a blue cheese on that, or not a blue cheese, a feta cheese on that. Delicious. There's goat cheese, Jack, and Swiss. I like all of those. Nice creamy goat cheese. Swiss with the holes, a little bit of bite to it. Jack for nachos or any Mexican food. And then blue cheese on a salad. There's not much better. It's a little bit of tartness. I love it. The green category today was beverage self-service items. Makes it sound like you're going to get, a refill. No, you're self-service. You're going to get your own lid, your own cup. Usually you pay for the cup and they hand you the cup. They keep those behind the counter a lot. The napkins, straws. Yeah, that makes sense. Birds minus a letter, the last letter. This was actually really clever. And this is how they ended up probably shoehorning the word cran into the puzzle. Because in the purple category, cran for crane, right? They added a letter. Flaming for flamingo. Hero for heron. Rave for raven. Is that why you guys are on today? You're like, oh, I can't wait until he gets on. He's going to fall for this red herring. I can't wait to see him fall for this red herring. Well, of course, the red herring, as you can see, one in each category. I think that's also a clue, too. If you fall into the red herring, they're like, she's like, okay, well, there's one in each category. Actually, we have seen one where there were two in one category, didn't we? I feel like there was one like a month ago where it didn't nicely fall into each category. But most of the time, the red herring will fall into each category. Like in the blue was rasp for raspberry. The yellow for... what was it? Blue for blueberry. Green was straw for strawberry. And then cran in the purple category. We're not that evil. We're not that evil at all. Oh, you were holding on with bated breath. You were refreshing your YouTube feed, hoping that I would dive in and fall head first into that red herring. Okay. Let's see. So in the mini crossword today, one across, guitar effect that mimics a voice. That's typically a vocoder. I don't know which one they're going for there. A vocoder is that one where they put a microphone in and then the guitar in and it mixes the sounds. Maybe I'm thinking of something else then, because it's only 4 letters there. Red carpet figure informally. Maybe a celebrity. Robert De Niro's "You talking to me" line was one. Maybe just like a quote. I don't know. That puts a Q in the puzzle. I wonder if that's not it. We'll come back. JCPenney or Family Dollar. Those sound like chains, right? Chain stores. There's a JCPenney in every store or every city. You think your city's special, and then you go to other cities, and you're like, hey, you have a Charlie's Hot Chicken too? Yeah, everywhere. You get it everywhere. I thought it was special. I thought that was local. Nope, there's one in every city. Let's see. Hey there. I'm thinking hiya or something. We may just need to come back to that one. Dead set on as an idea. If you're dead set, you are... I don't know. We'll come back. This is either permit or permit. How about allow? Oh gosh. Well, that means this word is wrong. Is it just store? Okay, fine. Store. Easy, basic word. Store. A little bit of... I don't know. We'll come back. A home for monks. An abbey. I thought that's where nuns lived. Do monks live in abbeys as well? Successfully win in sports betting lingo. I don't know sports betting. What do they call it when you win? Successfully win. Cash? Oh, maybe it is, because look. Hey there. Howdy. Howdy. One of my favorite YouTubers, Nate Black. He talks about like YouTube success and, reading the algorithm and stuff. Very, kind of nerdy stuff that I'm totally on board with. I love it. And he starts his videos going, howdy, howdy. That's his like catchphrase, his branding, part of his branding. He goes, howdy, howdy. Oh, I know this. Okay, I was way overthinking this. I was thinking like specific guitar pedals and stuff. No, this is just a wah-wah. Guitar effect that mimics the voice. Does it really mimic the voice? It's got a great sound. I don't know if I'd call it mimicking the voice. Robert De Niro's You Talking to Me? Why is this one not speaking to me? How about we'll do the down ones? Dead set on as an idea. Maybe do I have something wrong here? Oh, a little bit off. Oh, I was reading it wrong. Thank you. Thanks for accommodating for my my reading disorder. Oh gosh. A little bit off. A little weird. Oh, I do know this. Robert De Niro's You Talking to Me line was one. It was ad lib. He made that up on the fly. That was not part of the script. He made that up. I heard a story about another one that was ad libbed. The wedding singer in he was in a couple of movies. He was the wedding singer in like a recurring couple of movies that were all kind of in the same universe, and he was the wedding singer each time, and he would insert these like profane words into the songs, and it made Will Ferrell look over. I'm trying to remember what movie that was. I just watched the video just yesterday, but it caused everyone to like get shocked at the what the guy was saying. I can't think of the name of that movie. Anyway, he had no interest in becoming a singer at all. It just so happened that like he sang for somebody else, and they were so impressed. The director was so impressed, they hired him on the spot, and then had him become part of this ongoing gag in his movies. That's too funny. All right, the guitar effect that mimics a voice. There are some that even more mimic a voice. You could have a talk box, which is putting a pipe, like a rubber pipe in your mouth, and then you're going wah 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 while you play, and it picks up the sound of your voice. There's also another one called a vocoder. So a guitar effect that mimics a voice. I think this is grossly underrepresented. Sure, a wah wah pedal. You go back and forth with your foot, and it goes wah 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 as you play, and I guess that mimics a voice. Sure, it changes the voicing of the guitar. I was going to tell you too. Yesterday, my trio got together, and we are no longer a trio. We are a quartet because we have officially picked up this bass player. And he's great. He's really great. He's awesome. He comes from a background of actually trombone, of all things. And then he picked up the bass just, I think, 2 years ago. And now he was playing in like a rock band, like a workshopping rock band kind of thing. And our singer loved his sound, and they talked, and one thing led to another, and now he was sort of like doing a couple of trial runs, and we were like, you're in. You're in. This is it. And so we've been taking our repertoire of 4 hours of songs, and then each practice we've been incorporating in 4 or 5 more songs. We'll record them for him minus the bass track, so that he can play along to our playing with the bass track. So he'll play the bass during. So he's actually, and he's so dedicated, just so dedicated. He will practice, all day, every day, listening to our tracks and then playing by himself. And he's awesome. He's doing really, really good. I'm excited that he's part of our band. Super nice guy too. Usually I'm, slugging all my drum equipment around, and he's this big, tall, burly guy, and he just picks it all up and takes it even before I can get the first thing out to my car. He's already brought, 2 or 3 things out to my car, and I'm like, oh, wow, thank you. I didn't even ask. Right? Going back to what I said before, it doesn't cost you anything to be kind. It cost him maybe a tiny bit of exertion to get, my drum stuff to the car, but it meant the world to me, to have him help me with all my equipment, even though he's got tons of equipment too. He's just a super nice guy. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like the situation we're in. A red carpet figure informally is a celeb, right? Celebrity. Talk to me about your not so nice bandmates. I want drama. All right, I might have to hold that one. I do have a story. I'm not ready to tell it right now. I'm on such a high of this band and this experience that I'd rather not. I'll postpone it. Can I kick the can once for that one? I'm not going to tell you the story. I'll tell you the story maybe tomorrow or the next day or 2 months from now. It's not as fresh. It was months and months and months ago, but it's still not anything that I would want to relive, especially live on YouTube with you guys. I'm just not ready for that yet. You guys are trying to get me to spill the beans. Kindness is kind of dead in a way, and it's frustrating. Absolutely. Well said, Gianmarco. Oh, absolutely. I think back. I told you the story yesterday about on Saturday when 2 people one guy was waiting for a parking spot, and they were waiting for the person to come out of their parking spot so that this guy could go in. His blinker was on. He's ready. I was just right across the stalls, putting my stuff in my car from Costco. And this other lady just stole the spot right out from under him. And he was like, what? He honked. They got into an altercation, yelling at each other. And I'm like, you realize in about 3 minutes, you're both going to be inside this store with each other, right? Way to burn a bridge with somebody that you're going to cross in the aisles, probably 7 times. It was nuts. Men's hearts are failing them. That's biblical. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Robert De Niro's "You Talking to Me" That was a line that was ad-libbed. It was made up on the spot. Let's see. JCPenney or Family Dollar? I went a little too deep on this one. I guess they were wanting lighter answers. It's not just a store. It's a chain, right? You go to any major city and they're going to have, basically all the same stores. You think, oh, well, I'm going there because it's local. I'll go to Lowe's instead of Home Depot because Lowe's is local. No, they're not. Everybody's chain, right? Everybody's like out there. Unless you go to like legit a mom and pop restaurant or a taco stand on the side of the road or something. Those aren't chains. Those aren't chains. But you think, oh, I'm going to support this Charlie's Chicken place because they're, oh, wow, In-N-Out came to my neighborhood. That's got to be local. I'm going to support them. Yeah. I mean, great to support them, and they've got good food and all that, but there's, 100 restaurants that are exactly like that one all over the U.S., so go, if you ever get the chance, go to some other city. I'm talking like far. If you've never been to Texas, go to Texas. If you've never been to Maine, go to Maine. And you will see your hometown. I mean, it might feel different. Maybe there's more trees around and the signage is different and you're in a different place and the humidity is different. But if you need a McDonald's, there's a McDonald's. If you need a, Family Dollar, there's a Family Dollar. Yeah. Oh, that's another point. Absolutely. Jean-Marc, I do want to move on, but you just made a stellar point. As a person who's full of kindness, it's frustrating that sometimes people use their own kindness for their own benefit. Oh, yeah, somebody that's kind of snaky that usurps your goodness, right? Or they use their goodness almost in like a backhanded way for their own advantage. I don't think that's true kindness. Right? I don't feel like that's true kindness. That's more just like manipulation. I think there's a lot of manipulative people out there. I think there's a lot of manipulative people. I try to be genuinely good. I do. I try to be genuinely good. But I do, as exactly what you're saying, as a good person, I can sniff out manipulative people really easily. Because I'm like, you're not being kind to be kind. You're being kind to get money out of me. You're doing this for your own selfish self-interest. Yeah, no, I understand that. It's a little frustrating. Oh, John Marco says good luck on the Wordle. All right, let's recap this real quick and then we'll do the Wordle. Hey there, howdy. I was telling you my favorite YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers, Nate Black, he says howdy to start off his videos. Dead set on as an idea. Oh, we were going to fill this in. Wed to. Oh, yeah, I like that. Wed to. If you are dead set on an idea, you will not budge from that idea. You are married to that idea. Wed to. To permit is to allow. A little bit off. Thanks for telling me that I had read this a little bit off. It's not a little bit of. It's a little bit off. Weird. Home for monks and abbey. I thought that's where nuns lived, but I guess maybe monks also live in abbeys. Successfully win in sports betting. I guess you cash out or cash. I don't know. I don't do sports book. I don't gamble my real money. I have very little of it as a teacher, so I'm like, don't want to put that towards something. That I might lose it all. That's not a good idea. All right, Jean Marco said good luck on the Wordle, so I'm a little nervous today. As my general rule, right, my silly little personal rule, I won't be looking at the chat. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. In fact, feel free to scream the answer to me because I'm not going to be reading it. I will not even look. What should we start off with? How about truck? Okay, there's a C. How about please? Really? There's not an E, there's not an A. I like words like that because it gives you a lot of the kind of obvious letters like a P or an L or an S or an E or an A. So there's no E, there's no A. There's not a U either, so it's not one of those tricky, like, I'm going to throw a Q in here. Now, can I come up with a non-intersecting word, or did I just shoot myself in the foot? How about this one? Boing. Okay, there's an O. So, with the letters remaining, this is why I do this, non-intersecting word idea. With the letters remaining, let's make a word. So I know that there is an O in the second, so it might be, we have a C, so what if it's C-O? We haven't guessed an H. I wonder if it's a CH, something O-C-H. Mochi. No, there's no I. It could be a double O. Okay, maybe it's not an H. And it's not C something, Like hooch. Hooch actually would work if the C was there, but it's not. Or mooch. Mooch is another word. Hooch. Actually, if I guessed, maybe I'll guess mooch. No, I shouldn't, because I know it's not in that position. Mocho. Mochi. Is that a word? That's a word? Okay. What does that mean? So there's an M. There's an M in the puzzle. And look at the C. C, C, C. It's got to be C-O. And then it's either blank M-Y or it's blank, let's see, C-O-M, comedy. Oh, wait, that's a word. Comfy. Comfy. Short for comfortable. Let's try it. Okay. Oh, great. Awesome. Ash Greninja just said, try comfy. Try an F. Yeah, as a general rule, I don't look at the chat during the Wordle. But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to be spoon-fed the answer, I mean, you can see usually with our strategy, we get it on the 4th. Today we got it on the 5th. And good thinking. Ash, you got it square on. With the letters remaining, we came up with comfy. So I started with the word truck, right? And that gave us the C. And then please, not like please, please, but like there are pleas from the crowd. And that gave us nothing. That was no help at all. And then we got boing, which is an onomatopoeia of like bouncing. And there's an O. That's great. So then I tried mochi. Mochi, like the Japanese rice candy is with an I on the end. The term mochi primarily refers to a damp, warm, even muggy weather condition, particularly in Scottish and Northern Irish English. It can also describe a moist or moldy smell, weather that's unpleasantly warm and humid with a drizzle or mist. Smell can describe damp, musty, or moldy. Okay, so a basement smell is mochi. If you have a humid, stinky basement, you have a mochi basement. Interesting. That's a new one to me. That was one of those ones where I'm like typing words and I hit enter. I didn't do it absentmindedly. I was knowing full well that it would probably go, nope, sorry, that's not a word. Apparently it was. And good thing, too. Two things that happened here. Number one, it told us that there was an M in the puzzle. And then it confirmed, of course, that there's an O. And then it also told us that there's a Y at the end. And the C can't go in the third, can't go in the fourth. It's got to go in the first. And so scrambling those letters around, it was either C-O consonant M-Y, which, like, what would that be? Or C-O-M consonant Y. And it was comfy. Comfy. Cool. Ash, thanks for joining us. Very cool. Greninja, fun fact, Greninja is actually one of my mains when I play Smash Bros. I love that counter he does. This is a really good one. Done at just the right time. Takes you by surprise. And that shadow sneak, if you can control how far over the attack goes. Yeah. That's fun. That's very fun. I do have a gaming channel. I just opened the Wordle again. I do have a gaming channel that that I play all sorts of things, usually retro games, but I'm finding that the games that I like that I think are newer are not, right? Smash Bros. Has been out, 7-10 years? I grew up originally playing the original Smash 64 on the Nintendo 64. Yes, I'm that old. All right, in the Strands puzzle today, if you've never played Strands, think of it like a word search, and we are trying to line up letters to make words, but they don't just go up and down, left and right. They might kind of snake around in any which way. And all of the words tie back to like a main theme, but the theme is pretty up for interpretation. Worth the splurge, something that you might buy even though it's more money. Like a jewel. Oh, here. Jewelry. There we go. Jewelry. Okay, so maybe that's exactly what it is. Sometimes the theme is pretty loose. Today it might be a little more straightforward. If it's worth the splurge, something you splurged on. You splurged on jewelry. Maybe you splurge on a vacation. Is there a V somewhere? There's a V, but it's not going back to that. You might splurge on a condo, like a timeshare. Man, never get involved with a timeshare. It's almost impossible to get rid of. That's generational trauma to give your kids, hey, by the way, I'm stuck to this timeshare. And now you are too. It's not a good idea. I see an X too. That's a little suspicious. TCH. Maybe a watch. Okay. I see luxury. Luxury. I bet you that's the spangram. Luxury. Luxury goods. Oh, how curious. Usually the spangram, kind of the main true meaning of the theme, goes from top to bottom or left to right or backwards. But to have it go from top to right to left, it's a little peculiar. It usually doesn't do that. How about you splurge on a handbag? How about perfume? You might splurge on a car. You buy a convertible. Interesting. These are not things that... I tend to be pretty frugal with my spending. I don't buy crazy things. There's one thing that I would say, yeah, that was a splurge. That was something, and you know, in retrospect, should I have? I don't know, maybe not. I made a whole video series about it. I ended up buying a Surrey, like a multi-person pedal bike with a canopy on top, and everyone contributes to the pedaling. I even put a hub motor on it and stuff. And about 2 years ago, we were biking in the Surrey on Halloween. I remember this. We were all in costumes and going to a friend's house, and the one of the chains broke. Right, there's 4 different chains because everyone contributes to the pedaling. Goes to the back wheels. The front wheels do steering with a steering wheel, and the chain broke, and we haven't used it since. I haven't. I don't know. I have a million other things to do, and so this chain broke, and I'm like, I could run to the... You know, we even tried to buy a new one on Amazon, and it was the wrong size, and it was this whole thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to like a actual bike store and go get this chain figured out. And in the meantime, it's been in our carport, and you know, it's dusty, and you know, some rust on it and stuff. So we'll have to like refurbish it now at this point. Heck, maybe that will make new content. But if you go onto my channel years and years ago, I think there's a what do you call it? A playlist of them. Look up just Kirk H. Miller Surrey, and the playlist will come up. But worth the splurge. That is one thing that I splurged on. We have old cars. We don't have new cars. We don't have convertibles. I told my wife if we ever buy a new car, I want one with a sunroof. How luxurious that I'd get a sunroof of all things. I know. I'm really... It is a little greedy, right? I buy the things that we need. If my kids ask for things, do we need it? Okay, I see a need. We'll buy it. Absolutely. We're just more frugal like that. We don't go out and go crazy spending whatever. And we tend to eat at home. You know, either I'll cook or my wife cooks. We don't go to the restaurants every single day. You know, it's just... That would drain our bank account. And instead, we have the money on a single teacher's salary to do what we need to. I have a drum set that's older than I am. You know, I haven't replaced my mattress in 25 years, right? It's been just a long time for a lot of things. And should things be updated? Absolutely. As needed. Don't keep the old one. Then you're a hoarder, right? And don't spend more than you have. You know, you think, oh, I'll buy it on credit. There's even, you know, I'm sure you've seen like the memes and stuff about, you know, buying beyond your means. Now you can buy anything beyond your means. They're selling you beyond your means. It's called, you know, pay as you go. And you can even finance your Costco hot dog now. I actually just saw when I was scrolling through an Instagram, I think it was yesterday or last night or something, and somebody financed their $1.50 Costco hot dog, and once per day or something they owe 37 cents, whatever it turned out to be, on their Costco hot dog. Don't get involved with that. Oh my gosh. That's such a dumb idea. That's how they make their money. They hope you forget a payment, right? Yeah, it's funny if you do it on a Costco hot dog, but imagine if you bought, I don't know, patio furniture and you need to make that $500 payment and you can't because you finance something else. You finance this, and then suddenly that, $2,000 patio set is now a $7,000 patio set because you kept putting off payments, and now there's a lien on your house, and you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. So live within your means. Live within your means. Don't. I had a very, very wise person come to me and speak one time, and he said, make sure that the money going in is more than the money going out. Right? That was what he said. He said there are, so many people, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, no matter what, no matter where you fall in the category, make sure that the money going in is more than the money going out. Wise words. Very wise words. So, things that might be worth the splurge. I don't know if any of these are worth the splurge. Luxury goods, right? Luxury items. A watch. My watch was $20 at Walmart. Jewelry. I did splurge one time 20 years ago when my wife and I bought our wedding bands. That was a splurge. She has, some jewelry, but what jewelry would I wear? A necklace? No, I'm not, not doing that. Handbag. My wife's handbag, I think we bought at a discount outlet. Actually, I was at a discount outlet just yesterday, and I did see some handbags. Perfume. I do occasionally wear like a cologne. All colognes smell the same to me. Is that a hot take? I don't know if that's a hot take. All colognes smell exactly the same to me. So it doesn't really matter which one you get. I have a kind of sporty one that I haven't replaced in a while, so maybe I'll need to buy a new one. I will splurge. It's worth the splurge for that one. And then a convertible. Are you going to buy a convertible? I don't know about that. Okay. And then we'll do letterboxed. I guess I should hit play too. There we go. Went too high. There it is. Okay, so in the letterbox, we're trying to span across this box to create words. We're trying to use up all 12 letters to make words, and we have to do it in 5 words today. So I've got an F, an O, and an E. I've got a Z, R, and G, U, N, and S, L, Y, and an I. Okay. So I can't play. There's no M, so I can't play enzyme. And there's no PH, so I can't play Zephyr. I was going to play Zephyr. How do we get rid of that Z? There's no A in the puzzle. There is an S. And then LY is on the same side, so we can't do LY words. That makes it a little tricky, doesn't it? GR is on the same side. SU is on the same side. How about frozen? That's a word. And then with the N, we could play. There's no T. I felt like I could play the word nostalgia, but I can't because there's no A, there's no T. Nogs. Various eggnogs. Slur. Slur is a word. It's not a great word. It's not a kind word. Here we are talking about kindness. I wish I could play LY words. Rhiney, is that a word? Trying to get rid of the I and the Y. Problem is they're on the same side too. Okay, hear me out on this. If I get to the N somehow, then I could play noisy. How about ruin? And then we can play noisy. There we go. 5 words. We did it in 5. We did it in 5. There it is. Oh, how did they solve it yesterday? Yesterday's puzzle was improv and then vexatious. Improv and vexatious. Interesting. That is not how we solved it. Okay, today we had the word frozen to get rid of the Z, and the N led to nogs, various eggnogs. That's a funny word to pluralize, isn't it? And then the S led to slur, and then R for ruin, and then N for noisy. Noisy. Cool. Okay. Yeah, let's just recap. So in the connections puzzle, we got the blue category first, which is funny. Woodworking hand tools, the chisel, the plane, the rasp, and the saw. There was a red herring today that I'm sure a lot of people fell into. I saw rasp, blue, straw, and crayon for different berries, but each of those was in a different category, so they lied to us. They're playing tricks. Definitely playing tricks today. The chisel, the plane, the rasp, and the saw. Kinds of cheeses: blue cheese, goat cheese, jack cheese, and Swiss cheese. All of which I love. I love. I love good soft cheeses too. I mean, goat cheese can be soft. Is soft. But what was that brie that I had? It was a brie-like cheese. It was called Saint Angel. It was delicious. Oh, so good. That is maybe, if you're talking about Strands, where the things you might splurge on, I might splurge on cheese. I love cheese. Green category, beverage, self-service items. How about a cup, a lid, a straw, and a napkin? And then the purple category, this was not very straightforward, but once I saw that there were 4 left, I was like, how are these related? Then it started making more sense, right? You've got crayon for crane, flaming for flamingo, hero for heron, and then rave for raven. These are birds minus the last letter. Very clever. Very clever. How are we doing? We've got 91% win ratio. My current streak is 14. We biffed one about 2 weeks ago. Exactly 2 weeks ago. So we're doing okay, though. On the mini crossword today, there were a couple of funny ones today. Guitar effect that mimics a voice, the wah-wah pedal. I was definitely overthinking that one. I was thinking ones that actually use the human voice, like a vocoder or like a talk box. No, they're just a wah-wah pedal. There's also a chain of convenience stores on the East Coast. Where I grew up in New Jersey, there was a Wawa instead of, like, a 7-Eleven. I mean, we had 7-Eleven too, but we also had Wawa. Red carpet figure, informally, is a celeb for celebrity. Robert De Niro, you talking to me? His line was an ad lib, was made up, was improv'd on the spot. JCPenney or Family Dollar are stores. Hey there, howdy. Howdy. Dead set on as an idea. Wed to. If you're stuck on an idea, you're married to the idea. Wed to. To permit, to allow. I feel like allow is one that they use all the time. Isn't that like, they're like, okay, what do we use? How about epee or allow or nitro? They're always using that word nitro. But allow, I feel like, is one they use all the time. A little bit off. Weird. Home for Monks and Abbey. Successfully win in sports betting lingo is you cash. I don't know. That's a new one. I don't think I've ever heard that one. But I don't sports bet because I want to keep the money I work hard to earn. All right. And then the Wordle today. John Marco said, brace yourself for this one. Could be tricky. Truck. I guessed truck at the beginning, and that led to the C. And then I said please, which is a non-intersecting word from truck. And then boing, which is the automatopoeia of bouncing, boing. And that gave us the O. So then I'm like figuring out what letters go where. And I tried, okay, what if it's like mochi? But like I already guessed the I. So maybe it's not mochi, but the Y could be there. And then I guessed it. It was one of those moments where you type in letters and you hit enter knowing full well it's going to say that's not a word, that's not a word. But it was. And it actually was very, very helpful because it told me that there's an M and that the C can't go in the fourth, can't go in the third. It's got to be in the first, right? So it's a C-O word. And then there's a Y at the end. And so it's either C-O blank M-Y or C-O-M blank Y. And the word I came up with that made sense there was comfy. And looking back over at the chat, I saw Ash said the same thing. I don't know. I just don't look at the chat during the Wordle. It's not as fun to have somebody just spoon feed me the answer. I love that productive struggle. I'm weird like that. I don't know. Weird. Okay, and the Strands today, the theme was worth the splurge. These are luxury goods that you might splurge on. Are they worth the splurge? Maybe some more than others. I don't know. Let's see. Jewelry. You might splurge on a handbag. Perfume. Hey, Bodhi, how you doing? Good to see you. A handbag, perfume, a watch, jewelry, and a convertible. Oh, man. Convertible. Yeah, you might splurge on that if you've got the cash. And then we finished off today with the letterboxed. You had to do it in 5 words today, and I did it in 5 words. I saw frozen in there, and then the N led to nogs, and then the S led to slur, and then R for ruin. And then the N for noisy. What did I do noisy for? Oh, just to get rid of the Y. That was the only reason we did the word noisy there. But it worked. We made it work. All right. Very good. Very good. And now that some more people have just joined on, I'm about to send off. So if you like what you saw today, give it a like. Consider subscribing. We do this every day. It'll just go right into your feed. And I'll be there, and we'll have a fun chat like we always do, and we'll just do puzzles together. I don't know, it's a blast. It's just something fun we get to do. During the school year, I do it right after school because I'm a teacher, but then now during the summer, I do it just early in the morning. So if you're here early in the morning, or in your time zone, maybe it's late at night or 2 in the afternoon, who knows? It's just fun. It's just fun. Tell your friends that love puzzles too. Say, hey, I found this cool puzzle channel that they do the Wordle and stuff every day. You ought to come check it out. Share it with them. I'd love a share. Anyway, good stuff. Great chat. Pretty decent puzzles. Very, very doable puzzles today. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.